Students, how are you? I think all of you are well, staying in the path of education, and I hope all of you have able to increase your power in the path of education, and I think also you are now feeling the importance of staying in the path of education. All of you have come here, that means all of you are getting admitted in at Chitta Mohila College for some purposes. What purpose? The purpose is very simple. You have come here to learn something. And what kinds of learning? Here is the point. Students, try to understand that all kinds of learning is not education. You have come here to receive education, but you should remember all kinds of learning is not education. That means we can classify learning into two types. What are the types? The types are positive learning and negative learning, but all are learning. But in this respect, you should remember that only positive learning is education, but not negative learning is education, but that is also learning. So, we can clear the matter through examples. You may see some persons who take bribe from different persons. Do you know the meaning of bribe? Taking money illegally. Taking money illegally is called taking bribe. So, by taking bribe, some persons may live a gorgeous life. And you may see his activities. And by seeing his gorgeous activities and by seeing the technique of taking illegal money, you may learn the technique. What technique? How to take illegal money from different persons. You may learn these types of activities because by seeing the gorgeous lives, a interest may develop in your heart, in your mind, that we can also take illegal money, because in our society we can see that many of the persons are taking illegal money, so it's no problem. So by seeing that activities, by seeing those activities, you may think that it's general. So I can also take bribe, I can also take illegal money through illegal path. So it's also a learning. But by doing that types of activities, what happens? Try to realize the point. This is the main point of education. That type of learning is not education, because education make your mind broad. Education bring all education create your path of going to high position, but not restrict your path. But when you adapt that kinds of activities, then what happens? A lot of fear, a lot of anxieties may engulf your mind. Then you don't lead a harmonious life. You may lead a gorgeous life, but not live a harmonious life, anxiety-less life, fear-less life. So it's not actually life. If a mass fear, mass anxiety engulf or surrounds you, then you will not able to lead a happy life. You don't lead to a peaceful life. So students, try to realize the point, what is education or why we sacrifice that kinds of greediness, that kinds of material achievement etc. Because if you are able to avoid that kinds of bad activities, then your spiritual power that has been given to you from God will develop. That means all of us have spiritual powers in our mind. So if you stay in the path of education, if you stay in the path of truth, and if you apply your positive learning in your practical life, the most important point here, if you apply the positive learning in your practical life, then your power will be increased. Except it, your power won't increase. Students, try to realize this point, because without it, your all of efforts will be fruitless. All of your efforts will bring no fruit. If you fail to understand this point, and your learning will not be alive, your learning will be a dead thing if you don't apply your learning matters in your practical life. Suppose think that what you are doing from the very early life, you are familiar with English words and English language from the very beginning of your life, and the purpose is what the book setters or our governments are trying to make you a bilingual person. What is the benefit of that? The benefit is that by being a bilingual person, you will get power. What power? By learning English language, you can communicate with others. This is the goal of our English learning. But what is our fault, or what is your fault? The fault is you have learned a lot of stock, lot of vocabulary, and I think you have learned some sentence pattern, but you don't use this sentence pattern or this word in your practical life. I told you in my last class, the method you are learning English is communicative method, and the significance of this method lies in the name. What is the significance? The significance is that the method wants you to communicate with others through English. This is the goal. But the fault is that you don't try to communicate with others through English language. You don't want to stay in English environment. So, the main purpose of textbook or textbook setting is not fulfilled. So, students, I ask you to start English. You may you don't have enough vocabulary stock. But it don't matter. What you have learned is not matter. I think you should start speaking English. If you start speaking English, then the learning will be applied in your practical life. And through this ability, when you will start speaking in English, then what happens? Then you feel that you don't know much vocabulary. So, for that reason, you feel a desire to learn a lot of vocabulary, because during speaking, you feel that you have a small stock of vocabulary. So, when you will start speaking English, then English learning will be more fruitful and English learning will be alive to you. So, from the beginning class, I am telling you to start English speaking with your friends or the persons nearby. And a lot of mistakes may happen. So don't worry. It's practical, because there is a great statement or there is a great proverb that one must learn through mistakes. So students, don't worry and try to start speaking English and make English language fruitful. Now, last class I told you this class I will teach you about parts of speech. For that purpose, in my last class I told you an interesting sentence. Beauty beautifies her beautiful face beautifully because she likes beauty. Understand, students? Look at the blackboard. Parts of speech. Parts of speech. What is parts of speech? In our English language, millions words may stay, or crores words may stay, but all the words can be classified into 8 parts according to their criteria. Understand? According to their criteria, according to their position of the sentence, according to the activity of the words in the sentence, all the words can be classified into 8 parts. First of all is noun. Second on students, look at the blackboard. First on is noun, second on pronoun, and third on adjective, fourth on verb, fifth on adverb, sixth on preposition, seventh on conjunction, and last on interjection. Last class I told the sentence, beauty beautifies her beautiful face beautifully. Here, beauty belongs to what parts of speech? I told you, beauty belongs to the parts of speech noun. Second on, beautify belongs to verb. Beautifully belongs to adverb. And last on, because she likes beauty. Here, beauty is also noun, but these two noun is not same. First beauty, through first beauty we know the name of a person, but from last beauty we know the quality of beauty, the quality of something. Understand, students? So, through my lectures, you have understood that all the words, the noun, all the words of the noun are not same. So there is a necessity to classify noun. Understand? That means in an English language, a lot of noun may exist, but all the nouns are not same criteria. Depending on their criteria, noun may be again classified. So, now I am showing you the classifications of noun. Noun can be classified, major classification. Classified is concrete noun and abstract noun. So, what is concrete noun? Concrete noun is visible. The noun that can be seen are called concrete noun, and the noun that can't be seen is called abstract noun. In my last class, I told you what is noun. Noun is a naming word. That means through noun we can know name of something. But the name we know the name in different way. Sometimes through noun we know the particular name of a person, of a thing. Sometimes through noun we can know the general name of something or some persons. Sometimes through noun we know the group's name. In this way we can classify it noun into that group. That means concrete noun can be classified into 4 types. Number 1, okay students, at first we have divided noun into 2 parts, concrete noun and abstract noun. Again, concrete noun can be classified into 4 types: proper noun, common noun, collective noun and material noun. Now, what is proper noun? When a noun mentions a thing's or a person's particular name. Students, here is the key point. Particular name of any object or particular name of any persons is called proper noun. Understand? But what is common noun? General name of something or some person. General name is called common noun. Then collective noun is a group's name. A group's name is called collective noun. And then last one, material noun, the mother substance name. Students, mother substance name is material noun. Now I am giving an example through which you will understand these classifications. Suppose man is a naming word. Through this man we can know the general name of masculine gender. Understand? General name of masculine gender is called man. So it's a general name. When through a noun we know the general name, a big name. Understand? Big group's name. A big group's name or in general name is called common noun. So this man is common noun. Under this man, realize, under this group, this big group, a small group stay. That means a team. Army, team, army, committee, that is under this big group, man. Then this team or army is called collective noun. Understand the matter, students? Then under this team there lies a small or a smallest or particular name. Suppose Rohim. Taking this figure, man, general name, this general name, under this general name, team or army stay. That means it's a general names mean the largest group. General name means the general group or largest group. Under this largest group, a small group stay, and the small group's name is called collective noun. And under, then when you know a particular name of a person, a particular name of a thing, then this noun is called proper noun. So, if you remember this criteria, then classification of noun will be very clear to you, students. Now, the last one, material noun. Last term, material noun. Here also lies an interesting thing. I told you the mother substance are called material noun, but not the product substance is called material noun. For example, we can show that wood means cut. Here, wood is a material noun when wood can be considered as a mother substance, but from wood many things may be formed or may be made. Suppose from wood we can make chair, we can make table. Think that here chair is made with also substance. Table is also made by substance. But chair and table is not material noun. Here is the interesting thing. Chair and table is not material noun. They are. Can you guess what noun chair and table is? Both are naming words. Through chair, we know something's name. Through table, we know something's name. Both are naming words, but they are not material words. So, what types of words they are? Can you guess? I think many of you may guess. They are called common noun because through this chair we know the general name. We know the general name of all chairs. That means biggest group of chairs. So, chair is a common noun. Through table, we know all the tables. Understand? Through tables, we know all the tables of the world. So, this is the biggest group of the table. So, they are common noun, but not materials noun, but wood is a mother substance. So, here wood is a material noun, students. So, I have discussed about concrete noun. So, I told you what you can see in everywhere are nouns. If you look outside, what things are you seeing? All are nouns. That means you are staying with a lot of nouns. So try to understand the point, because now suppose I am holding a thing, it's pen, it's also a noun. I am holding the thing with my hand is also noun. I am speaking something through my mouth is also noun. I am seeing you. So, my through eye is also noun. In these respects, what you see, what you can see through your eyes, all the things are noun. So noun takes a very big place in our English language. So try to feel the point. I am standing on the floor. Floor is also noun. So you are staying. You himself is a noun. You herself is a noun. And every part of you is noun. And where you are staying, what you are seeing, everything is noun. So you are staying the nouns. From this class, try to realize the point and try to enjoy the point. What is the point? You are what you have seen through your eyes is noun, and that type of noun is called concrete noun. And abstract noun, what you can't see, that kinds of noun is abstract noun. You have to feel that types of noun. Suppose the noun is honesty. Do you know what is the color of honesty? I think none of you can say, because honesty can't be seen. Truthfulness can't be seen. So, in this way, the noun that can't be seen is called abstract noun. In this way, you should increase your vocabulary and feel everything. And if you use language in your practical life and start to speak English, then English language will be alive to you and English learning will be fruitful to you. Okay, students, next class I will try to discuss another parts of speech, and I ask you to attend my next class. Okay, thank you very much.